every week we share something new. Right now we are doing a 14-part series. I just couldn't stop at 5 or at 10 about all the things that we've learned as real estate investors over the last 20 years. So this blueprint goes through the 272 things that we have learned over the last 20 years investing in real estate here in Texas. So we're breaking this out into different subsections to be able to help you guys learn about investing. So if you guys are at university or at YouTube University, you might want to track us on our YouTube channel or on our podcast, and you can get all of our tips of the week. They're specifically broken out just so you can focus on that. I know many of you guys are probably binge watching on YouTube, just trying to learn about real estate and real estate investing. I will tell you, if you are investing, living, working in Texas, this is the YouTube channel that you want to follow, because some of the folks that are on YouTube, they might be living a really wonderful, exciting life and having a ton of subscribers, but they live and work in Florida or Utah or California. So they're going to tell you different things that are going to work where they are investing, but may not work where you are investing. So highly recommend you get your knowledge or information from people who live and work in the same area that you are also living and working. So part of our 14-part series today, so we all go back if you want to get started, the marketing, understanding the different deals, going through due diligence, negotiating, financing, closing, reselling, leasing, refinancing. Tonight, actually, we're going to go through the operations part. Next week, we're going to talk about entities and asset protection. So as we talk about operations, and this goes a little bit into some of the discussion that we had earlier today in terms of some of those things that I call minimum wage activities and some of the things that you might want to outsource. But I will tell you that as a real estate investor, your long-term success is really all about what I call your back office, which is having the people in place that allow you to grow and allow you to scale your business. If you are doing everything yourself at the beginning, it's going to feel really good. And for a while, when we were talking earlier, we were having someone was door knocking, someone who's installing, someone who's giving the bid, someone who's doing the accounting. And remember what you said here earlier tonight, which is 24/7, we have someone answering the phone for you. So at some point you went from answering the phone yourself, right, and getting interrupted all day to being able to hand that process and that system to somebody else so that you can have more maybe customer contact, so you can have more installation time or whatever it may be that you decided was your best and highest use in your business that allowed you to grow and to scale your business. So if the more valuable, who are my business owners in the room? I'm just curious. Okay, think about this and write this down if you brought a notepad with you. The more valuable you are to your business, somebody finish that for me. The more valuable that you are to your business, the less valuable your business is. Think about that. The more valuable, if like everything has to go through me, what does that mean? You're bottleneck. You're bottlenecking yourself. You're getting up every morning and you're punching yourself in the face. Is that right? The more valuable you are in your business, the less valuable your business is. If your business cannot operate without you, what happens if you get sick? Your business goes away, right? And that happens. So the more people that you have who are around you and supporting you, what I'm kind of referring to is your back office, right? The more able you will be able to scale your business. And even the more able you will be able to resell your business, right? So if you're building a business that is built to resell, think about the McDonald's model. Do you have Mr. McDonald back there flipping burgers anymore? No, but what did he create? He fired himself from his business. He created systems, he created procedures so someone else could do those things for him so he could focus on what? Getting the next asset, selling the next franchise, building the things that were, and doing the things that were really going to grow and scale his business. For you guys as real estate investors, I want you to think about it the exact same way. Now, I'm super curious. How many of you are looking forward to like ripping it up, getting in there and doing your own renovations? It's okay. Who are you? I want to raise your hands. It's okay. Yeah. And you guys have probably been in a cubicle for a really long time, right? And just kind of like, like you've never finished a day by saying, behold my spreadsheet. Look at this thing of beauty. Look at all the tabs. Look at all the formulas, right? You probably have not said that, or at least, and then, as a left brainer, and I'm a left brain analytical soul, it's just part of me. Like there have been times when I've been really proud of my spreadsheets, right? There, I'll be honest, there have been those times, but it's like, at some point it's like, yeah, you're just the spreadsheet lady, right? It's like, we get it. But what I will tell you is when I first left, or kind of started my second shift from corporate America, and started doing real estate investing, it felt good to, at the end of the day, see the things that I had accomplished, right? And my guess is, for those of you who raised your hand and said, yes, I want to get in there and I want to, build something, or I want to lay tile, or I want to lay carpet, or I want to, put in an air conditioning system, or I want to paint a wall, or I want to take down this wall. It will feel really good the first time, assuming it's not 106 degrees. But what I will tell you is, at some point you are going to have to do what? Let that go in order to grow. But you had to do those things early on in your business, right? But the things that got you to where you were kept you exactly where you were until you decided to do what? Oh, honey, I've got to get some help. I've got to get somebody to do this part of the business for me. And then your business grew a little bit more. And then, honey, I need to get some help to get somebody to do some of this so that my business can grow a little more. And you're doing all of these things incrementally, right? So the faster you are able to let go of maybe that good feeling of knocking down a wall, of taking trash out of a house, right? Of just getting in there and tearing it up, and or getting in there and putting it all back together, the faster you let go of the feeling of this feels good to me, and the faster you hand that off and build your back office of people that you can call and you can talk to be able to make your life easier, to allow you to go on vacations. So I'm sure you can think about back to like the first vacation that you took, that you were actually able to like be free away from your phone, right? Or be free away from your business, to actually have that time off, which I think is what a lot of people get in this business to be able to do. So I will tell you, the faster you stop doing your own, even though I know it feels good, the first one or two will feel great, but then what's going to happen is you will be limited to one or two. You will be limited to one or two. And I don't want that to be any of you. So the faster you let go of that, the better. I read a quote. Who are my Timothy Ferriss fans? 4-Hour Workweek, 4-Hour Body, Tools of Titans, Tribe of Mentors. Okay. So he had interviewed someone, and that person had said in one of the quotes that had listed in the Tools of Titans or Tribe of Mentors, I can't remember which one it was, because it's kind of volume 1, volume 2. He said, self-sufficiency is a recipe for poverty. And I feel like we've been trained to think actually the exact opposite of that. And my guess is that this person defines poverty as maybe only making a few $100,000 a year. But sometimes you get stopped at that limit because, again, you are so self-sufficient, you are doing everything in your business. So as soon as you can fire yourself, Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect, who's read that book? Okay, you, sir, you're my brother in reading these awesome books. Thank you for that. Darren Hardy, The Compound Effect, he talks about this: fire yourself as soon as you can. Fire yourself as soon as you can. He talked about that in his book, The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster, where he was actually interviewing a bunch of other entrepreneurs and asking them, like, hey, what's your secret to success? In fact, he was the owner and publisher of Success Magazine for many years. So during that time period, what did he get to do? He got to interview several successful business owners. And I thought one of the things that was most powerful that he said was that one of his mentors told to him was, fire yourself as soon as you can, because the more valuable you are to your business, the less valuable your business is, and definitely the less sellable that your business is. You've heard of a lot of entrepreneurs who have had opportunities to sell their business, and if their business depends on them, what is the person who's buying their business going to ask them to do? I need you to work for me for the next year, right? As you transition this out. So you can't even get free after you sell the business in some cases. So the biggest mistake that I see most new investors make is that they fire themselves, and this is key, they fire themselves in some cases from the wrong jobs first. And this is where you guys are going to get pulled into some of the traps, and I'll explain to you some of those traps are. But I will tell you that those customer-facing activities are the last thing that you let go of. The customer-facing activities, meaning the sales type activities where you're closing someone, where you're selling someone, those are the last things that you want to let go of. You should fire yourself from what I refer to as the minimum wage activity list first. And this is a thing, again, that's a little bit counterintuitive from the standpoint. And Michael, just to let you know, I already stopped the record on the last one and started the record on the new one. So you can hang out here if you want or not. It's up to you. But what I find is a lot of people will be fire themselves from the customer-facing activities in their business, but still be doing their own cooking, cleaning, lawn, laundry, pool, picking up the dog poop in their yard, right? All of those different things. So if there's something that I want you to fire yourself from first, it's actually, and I know this sounds counterintuitive, but it's actually all of the things that are taking your energy inside of your house first. And that way, if these first few items here are $20 or $30 an hour item things that you could pay someone $20 or $30 an hour to do, and I see all the women in here like, oh yeah, we need to fire myself from, I should not, the dishes, is that included in there too, but it's true, right? So if you can pay somebody $30 an hour, but it gives you back time during which you can do a $50 an hour activity or a $100 an hour activity. Do you see how that's the thing that you want to fire yourself from as well? Home maintenance, car maintenance, car washing. One of the members here was like, no, I've got to wash my own car. It's like, it's a special car. It's like, well, no, you can hire someone who will actually bring like a whole mobile detailing service over, and you have to let that go because he was spending like 5 hours a week, like loving on his beautiful automobile. And it's like, well, what if you just spent that 5 hours a week just on more customer facing activities to be able to bring in more revenue to your business? Picking up, dropping off dry cleaning. Who wants to carry around their dirty clothes in their car with them, right? Especially in this heat, right? And then you forget to go. Like, there are so many services that will pick up your dry cleaning and take them and then bring them back when they're done, right? Having those things done can really free up your time. The dog grooming, even having the mobile pet grooming service, car detailing, car maintenance, the bookkeeping, the accounting, the taxes. So I will tell you some of the first mistakes that we made in our business are some of the mistakes that I'm sharing with you tonight. So both my husband and I, we worked in corporate America. We worked in a cube in a building in air conditioning for 10 hours every single day, right? 10 hours every single day. So it did give us that feel-good feeling of, the first purchase that we made, and I'm embarrassed to say this today, but we bought a trailer so that we could haul stuff to the dump. When my husband and I were first dating, we would go on dump dates. And I married him anyway, I mean, think about it. It's like we were doing all of these things ourselves when instead of us, taking trash out of a hoarder house, we should have paid some kid who needed the money and then been working on doing what? Finding another deal. And if anyone feels, and I'm just curious, and I know you guys don't seem like a hand-raising crowd, but just please, does anybody feel like, well, I don't like, and someone once told me like, you're just bougie, oh, well, that's just what rich people say. Literally, I had somebody tell me that until what? Until they became bougie and rich. And guess what they did? They stopped doing the things that I stopped doing as well. But as anybody is like, well, I don't know if I feel good about that. I'm just curious. It's okay. You can raise your hand. No one's getting canceled or slapped or put out into the heat. Anybody? Okay, you guys are not going to have fun with me at all today. Wonderful. But what I will tell you this, if anybody feels guilty about that, you feel guilty? Anybody else feel, okay, some of you guys feel guilty. Here's what instead you might feel guilty about. When you fire yourself from these minimum wage activities, but you're hiring other people to come in, you are creating economies. You're creating economies that include other people. In many cases, who are the first people that we hire? Our family members, right? Our kids, our brothers, our sisters, our parents, right? I have a 14-year-old son. Who do you think would watch my 14-year-old son when he was little, and even tonight, right? My mom. Isn't it nice to be able to employ your mom and have someone who has the same values that you do with your kid when you're going away, right? Do you have that same opportunity when maybe you're in corporate America and you can't afford to pay them? The answer is no. So I would say, instead of feeling, a little guilty about having somebody else do this for me because you feel bad about it, you should feel guilty about all of your favorite family members and friends that you're not able to employ. It does feel good to be able to create an economy that includes other people around you, because you are focusing on your best and your highest good. So some of the other things, so I told you that one of the first capital investments that we made was in this trailer. The trailer is, we still own it, but it stays at our handyman's house. So whenever we need something done, our handyman goes to do it. So the trailer only visits us, right? The trailer only visits us at this point. Bookkeeping, accounting, and taxes. So when we first started investing, we were the bookkeeper and we were the accountant. We weren't filing. We hired someone else to file to create our tax returns, but we were, reconciling all of our bank statements, and we were putting everything into at the time Quicken and then now QuickBooks, and it was destroying our productivity, right? And it was taking a lot of the fun out of what we were doing, and it was destroying our ability to get in front of the customer and have another customer-facing experience, which is going to lead to that next deal. And as a real estate investor, how much do you make on deals? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000. I'm sure you've all heard stories exactly like that. So if you're too busy to go and talk to a customer because you're cleaning your own house or picking up your dog's poop, rethink your life just a little bit and just put a little perspective on it. Because I think for some of you guys, it could literally add 10 or maybe 20 plus hours a week to your life. So don't fire yourself first from those customer activities. Fire yourself instead from these minimum wage activities. None of these activities are going to do anything for you guys to move the needle. None of these things are going to move the needle for you in your life. You're not going to save your way to financial freedom by, maybe I did think I read something that if, by not having a $6 Starbucks every day, you could be a millionaire or something if you live to 100 or something, but that's not on here. But you guys get the point. So as you grow your business, you'll be tempted to first do it all yourself, and then second, outsource the wrong stuff. So I don't want you guys to fall into any of these sand traps, any of these potholes. I don't want this to be any of you guys. So instead, what I want you guys to do is to keep those customer-facing activities you. And one of the traps that I see a lot of new investors fall into is this beautiful thing called a VA, a virtual assistant. And what are people having their virtual assistants do for them right now in real estate like crazy? Call. Yeah. I'm curious, who in here besides me owns rental property? Who owns rental property? Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Raise them higher just so everybody can see. Keep your hands up if you get calls from other investors, VAs, about your rental properties. Okay? Yes, most of you guys have your hands up. What does that call sound like? Someone said automation. Scripted. Where are they calling you from? They're calling you from the Philippines. That's where my VAs are, right? That's where all my VAs are. They're calling you from the Philippines. What do you know automatically when you get a call from someone's VA? How long does it take them to say hello back? Too many seconds. That's the exact right answer, right? And what do you automatically know? This is a cold call, right? I already know what they're calling about. Do they sound like they're the owner of the business? No. Does it sound like they could buy your house from you? No. Is that a customer-facing activity? Yes. That seems to be one of those activities, and this is one of the traps that people like to outsource first. What I will challenge you guys, and I'm curious, I have VAs. Who has VAs in here? Who uses virtual assistants, right? Put your own name, different name, put your own phone number on your list for your VA to call. Get the customer experience. And note every single detail. Because in life, are we noting every single detail? Do we note that it's like, that's 1, 2, or 3 seconds too long for them to say hello back? And they say hello like, hello? Yeah. Come on, right? So that's one of the ones that I will ask you to be careful with, because that's one of the ones that we are most, in some cases, afraid of. Not everyone is getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go, and you weren't door knocking at 3 o'clock in the morning, but not everyone is out there brave enough to go door knocking. It's probably one of the toughest things that we do as real estate investors or as business owners in general, right? Drum up new business. But at the end of the day, if your business does not have revenue, you have no business. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. So don't give up those customer-facing activities. Instead, give up those minimum wage activities that are doing nothing to move the dial. Was this a helpful discussion for you guys? Okay, good. All right. Yeah. All right, good. All right. So if you'd like some additional tips and ticks, it is Lyme season and the deer are out. Yes. If you'd like some additional tips and tricks, join us on our Texas REIAs YouTube channel. We have different tips every week for being able to grow your business. I have got hundreds of tips out there for you guys to be able to grow your business. I'd love for you guys to binge watch and become the expert as part of Texas REIAs to be able to grow your own business as well.